fellow snows, hoes, ugly blokes, and millennial jokes, and welcome to the Bastards of Gaming podcast, episode number 13. I'm your host with the most, Sizer, joined by my co-host, the maple syrup to my French toast, the hoop god to my Wii music drum solo, Center.
So I did it. Amazon refunded Rage 2.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. That's pretty insane, honestly.
Full refund. It was opened. I played it. Just sent it back. They just gave me my money back.
Yeah. So how long did you actually play it for? Like 3 or 4 days or something like that before you even sent it back?
I sent it back probably like 11 days after I bought it.
Jesus Christ!
So it's like I rented it.
Yeah. The only experience I have with doing this is when I first got my Switch, I accidentally pre-ordered the Wii U version of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I was so excited to fucking get it and get my Switch rolling that I just like ripped open the package and I pulled it out. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this? Because it was like the small little Wii U disc. Because I'd never had a Wii U, so I didn't even. I mean, obviously I've seen what the cases look like, but I wasn't even thinking about it. And it wasn't until after I'd already opened, I was like, oh fuck, I bought the wrong version of this game. So I sent it back to Amazon, and they were just like, "No, we're gonna give you like I think it was like $30 in trade-in credit." So yeah, I was like, "Fuck, man, that sucks." So I had to eat the cost on that, and that was like sent back the same day. So fuck you and your Canadian refunds.
Well, how long ago was that?
Well, when the Switch came out, like literally the day it came out.
Okay, so that wasn't that long ago. Maybe it's different in Canada. Maybe they don't have time to like quality check. They're just like, "Yep, it's here."
Yeah, well, I mean, Amazon's been kind of changing the way they do everything. I mean, they did have the whole game program that was running for a while where you could get, 15% off every game, and that even applied to collector's editions and stuff like that. So I was buying all my games on Amazon, but they stopped their whole, program with all that stuff. So now maybe I buy something here and there, but for the most part, I don't even buy anything off Amazon anymore as far as video games go. So I don't know. But yeah, it could just be like there's different rules and things in Canada, but I don't know. I would love to know if anyone else has had this kind of experience with it, because I've never heard of people just being able to straight up return games. I mean, this is like 90s PS1/PS2 GameStop days where I don't know if you remember back then, but you used to be able to do the same thing at GameStop. That's how I played a majority of my like launch PS2 games and maybe even some PlayStation 1 games. But they used to have this deal where you could bring an open brand new game back. I think it was either within 7 days or 14 days, and to swap it out for a new game. And so that's what everyone did. They still have that policy in place today, I think, with pre-owned games. So, I mean, if you want to, they don't let you abuse it, but you can go in GameStop and just buy any of their pre-owned games, play it within a week, take it back, and keep doing that. Even when I worked there years ago, we would let, obviously it's a policy you can let people do, but some people abuse it. So we would just be like, hey, now you've done this enough times. But so you can't get away with stuff like that. But it's insane that you did that with a brand new fucking game from Amazon.
Yeah, I didn't get a warning. I didn't get an email. I didn't get anything. It's just like your refund has gone through. You don't have to do anything else. Here you go.
You said you did that with Fallout 76 too.
Yeah, I did, because it's such a shit game. Both of those games to me were not worth the $90 Canadian that it cost me to get it. So fuck those games, honestly. I don't do that with other games.
Didn't you tell me a while back though you did that with something else, like a computer monitor or something? You just said it was never delivered or shit. I don't remember.
Yeah. It was like a really good computer monitor, and they left it like I have stairs leading into my house. You have to walk upstairs from the outside, and they left it on the ledge of the step, so it was like peeking out into the street. And it was almost like tumbling down the steps. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, this is stupid. So I just like went on the chat thing, the Amazon chat. And I was like, yeah, I never received it. I think somebody stole it. And they were like, oh, okay, here's your refund. And that was like $400. So it's like, okay, cool.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to test this out. I'm going to send you money to buy me games from the Canadian Amazon. And then you're going to get them. You're going to send them to me. I'm going to play them, send them back to you. You're going to return them. And that's how we're going to play new games.
I'll play them first though.
Yeah. I was going to buy stuff from you from Amazon. It's like, hey, I need a new computer monitor. I need a new graphics card for my computer. And I'll have it delivered to your place, and you just tell them, I didn't get it. Someone stole it off my front porch. And then we'll just fucking buy all our gaming gear from Amazon Canada.
Well, I'm sure my account's probably flagged at this point as like, this guy's up to something. He returned shit. He said this thing was stolen. I'm sure there's like marks on or notes like in my account. I probably can't do it for much longer.
Well, the only time I was ever able to get away with basically doing weird stuff with Amazon was when I ordered this couch. I think it was last year, the year before last. It was like almost $1,000 couch, and they accidentally sent me 2 of them because it was like packaged in these little sections. And I just waited like a couple of days, and I'm like, I just want to return this. And they just charged me like $50 to just have like a big truck come pick up these boxes. So I basically paid $50 for this almost $1,000 couch because they accidentally sent me 2 of them. So that's my only like fucking Amazon over story. But awesome. I think honestly we need to explore this more. I want to see how far we can go with Amazon Canada.
Okay, well we'll try something else out. We just got to give it some time to kind of cool down. You know what I mean? Like we just committed a we did a heist, and like the heat's out there. We gotta just wait for it to cool a bit, and we'll try again.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. But moving on, so this week's show is going to be an all E3 showcase. So we're going to skip the normal what the fuck we're playing, the normal topic of the week, and probably even the questions and answers this week. This is going to be all E3. We literally just got done down to the wire here. I was skimming through the Nintendo conference that just happened this morning to see what I could possibly put in here for the notes. So we're going to go through every press conference, everything that happened over the last 4 or 5 days, all E3 related, and talk about the things that are relevant. But I'm also going to literally name off every fucking game that was seen. We're not going to talk about all of them, but I figure I might as well be 100% complete and out there with all the information I have. So I don't know. We're just going to kind of roll right into it here.
Yeah, let's just jump in.
Let's just jump in. All right, so the first thing that happened was the sort of Google Stadia information that came out.
Wow.
So, yeah, but let's get this out of the way. It's relevant. It's interesting. I don't know. So 10 megabytes per second is what you would need for 720p 60 frames per second stereo audio to stream with them. 20 megabytes per second for 1080p 60 frames per second, 5.1 audio. 35 megabytes per second, 4K 60 frames per second. 5.1 is sort of the graph that they put out there. So that's the speed you would need. I feel like anyone could really hit that. I don't know what the speeds are like in Canada up there. Do you have a data cap?
No, like you can pay for unlimited. They used to have data caps a couple years ago, and that's kind of going away because it's bullshit. But like I have 300 megabytes per second. You know, so
yeah,
like,
okay.
So it's not a big deal.
Didn't know. Yeah, I just didn't know what it was like up there because, you know, obviously that would factor into whether people want to invest in something like this.
Well, what'd you think? Like everything was frozen up here, and like we can't transmit this data through the frozen fiber optics.
Well, I don't know what's going on up there. I mean, you get free fucking merchandise from Amazon. I don't know what the fuck's happening. But I remember talking to you like a couple of years ago or something like that, and you said you had a data cap, but that was like 2 or 3 years ago. So I was just kind of getting an update from that. But anyways, so some games that were announced during Google Stadia's little things. This one game called Guilt. It's like an adventure game from developer Tequila Works. And then a multiplayer Overcooked style game called Get Packed from Moonshine Studios. I'm not sure if these are exclusive. They were just shown there, but I figured it was just relevant to bring those up. So they did finally reveal what they're going to do for their payment plan. And Stadia Pro is going to be the subscription service at $10 a month. It'll give you access to the service's games at 4K resolution, 60 frames per second. This won't include all the games that they have, though, and I think you're even going to have to purchase newer games separately. I think a base free model will be unveiled sometime next year. The controller itself is $70 standalone, and then the Stadia Founders Edition will launch later this year for $130. It comes with a Chromecast Ultra, a Stadia controller, a copy of Destiny 2, which is now like free to play, which is weird, along with a new Shadowkeep expansion and a 3-month subscription, along with a 3-month Buddy Pass. So I guess you can have a friend try it out as well. So what do you think about this sort of model that they have, even though it's still a little vague and confusing? What do you think about this launching at $130 for a Chromecast Ultra, a Stadia controller, and a 3-month subscription?
It seems okay. Honestly, like that's fine. Over time, it'll cost you more money than it would a regular console, so I don't like that part of the model. I had to laugh when they're like, well, you subscribe to our service, but it doesn't really include games. And everyone's like, what the flip? You know what I mean? Like everyone just freaked out. They're like, we gotta buy games now? It's just to stream? And it's like, what? Kind of like that's what it was gonna be. Like, I don't know what you're expecting.
Yeah, well, I know they said they are going to have some free games, though, other than... I just don't know if any of them are available at launch, other than Destiny.
Right.
So that's kind of the thing, because I think they're going to kind of have a Game Pass, like, portion of it, where it's just like, here's some, like, older games that you can just have them, you know what I mean? So I don't really know. Sure. But yeah, I don't... Would you even consider buying this?
No. I'm not interested in this at all.
Yeah, well, I'm just interested in it from the standpoint of like, I just like fucking around with new tech. I don't think I'm sold on it though, because realistically, I can get all these games on other platforms that I already have, or I already have all these games that they're going to be coming out with on this. So, I mean, like I said, other than just my curiosity to just fuck with new technology and stuff like that, I just don't know. Because for me, the only reason I buy these platforms, the only reason I have multiple platforms is because of the exclusives. And I saw an interview after the fact where they were talking with Phil Harrison, and he said they are going to have exclusive games. But I mean, I feel like if you're going to come out of the gate and not show that stuff and not really sell people on this, I just don't know how this is going to do, man. Because I mean, you could look at it from a cost benefit standpoint of like, this would be the cheapest way to technically have a console or a video game machine. But I just don't know. This casual market that they're going for, I don't know if it's really there. Like, I feel like people that really care about games have one or all of the systems or multiple systems already that have all these games. I'm just not sure who this is for. Like, is someone's like, is there going to be some kid at Christmas time that's like, I want a new console to play games, and like mom goes into like GameStop and is like, well, I get the Xbox, or I could just get the Stadia. You know, I'm like, I just don't know who that person is really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough. Like I like the aspect of like you basically can play it almost anywhere. You know, so like if you're traveling a lot or if you went on vacation, you didn't want to lug all this stuff down, you just take a tablet with you or whatever. Like I like that aspect, but it's very particular. It's very like niche. So to me, I don't need this. So I agree. I don't know who needs this or who's super excited about it.
Yeah, I mean the portability of it, even within your own home, with just being able to like plug this, Chromecast Ultra into any TV you want and just start going. Other than you'll have to connect to whatever Wi-Fi or whatever's around, and the speed might sort of change. Like if you're traveling, you're staying in like a hotel, and you want to just bring this thing, it's like, well, hotel internet speed is fucking shit.
Yeah.
So at that point, you might as well just have a Switch. So I don't know. It's weird. But just to get through these last little parts here. So Google says it'll be one user per Stadia account tied to your Google ID. You can have a guest account for split screen. But other than that, no sharing, even though they did say there will be a family sharing plan in the future. You'll be able to play Stadia on the Pixel 3 and 3A devices, which is kind of neat in a way. But other than that, so they announced a lot of the games that are coming out for it. So I'm just going to run through them real fast here. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Baldur's Gate 3, Borderlands 3, Darksiders Genesis, Destiny 2, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Farming Simulator 19, Final Fantasy 15, Football Manager, Get Packed, Grid, Guilt, Just Dance, Metro Exodus, Mortal Kombat 11, NBA 2K, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, Rage 2, Samurai Showdown, The Elder Scrolls Online, Thumper, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Trials Rising, The Crew 2, and Wolfenstein Young Blood. So those are supposed to be launch window games. But it's like I was saying earlier, all those I already have or I've already played, or I could already play on something else. I just don't really see why I would need this.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that came out of this that I was excited for is Baldur's Gate 3, because it's made by Larian, who did like the original Sin games, Divinity Original Sin. So to me that was one of the biggest announcements that I really like nerded over, because I was like, oh fuck yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Like compared to everything else that was revealed, that was revealed like pre E3 that Baldur's Gate was coming out, and I was like, yeah. And then E3 came, and I was like, wah, wah.
Yeah, did they ever show any footage? Because I never saw it again in any other conference yesterday. So I'm like,
it wasn't there was no game stuff, but you can kind of picture what it's gonna look like, But like that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's Google Stadia. You ready to move on?
Yep.
So talking a little bit about Baldur's Gate there and sort of the disappointment or Baldur's Gate 3, I guess I should say, and the disappointment of not really seeing or knowing much about it, other than what you can just guess, as a fan of it. This kind of sets the tone for this entire E3, in my opinion, which is all these sort of CG concept trailers for every goddamn game and almost no fucking gameplay at E3 this year.
Yeah.
It's so fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be moving into Microsoft here, and they're like the worst offender of this, in my opinion. So the first game they show is Outer Worlds, which they do show some gameplay of that, and it's made by Obsidian. They're the people that made the Fallout New Vegas. But what do you think about this game? Because it's supposed to be sort of Fallout light, like it's going to be like a sort of open world RPG where you make choices and stuff. But it's not. They've already got ahead of the curve here and been like, just everyone holds your horses. This is not going to be like Fallout, Bethesda Game Studios level of deep and wide and stuff like that. But it does look kind of interesting. I don't know. What do you think about it?
You already said, like, this whole E3 was like, here's a bunch of trailers, here's some sizzle reels. What am I supposed to get away from this? Like, oh, it's a fucking new fucking game. Great. Like, I'm not really, I didn't get excited about any of this stuff. So when I saw this, I was kind of like, oh, cool. Like no emotion.
Yeah. And I should say, like, to me, this has been one of the most disappointing E3s of all time, in my opinion, for multiple reasons. But yeah, just the way they sort of showed games and just confused me a lot of times more than anything. They did not show, no one, not even just Microsoft, no one showed their games off really in a way that like got me excited. But let's keep moving here. So Bleeding Edge is the new Ninja Theory game. Microsoft bought Ninja Theory last year. They're usually known for their third-person action games and stuff like that. And then the first game they reveal is a 4v4 multiplayer game, again, with just this, like, I guess, in-engine sort of cinematics that they're showing. Mm-hmm. And so I just have to glean what I guess this game is, because I don't fucking know, because they don't fucking show any gameplay in this. Like, What did you think about this game?
The first thing I thought of was like, oh, it's an edgy Overwatch. That's all I thought. Yeah. Like, it just kind of looks like Overwatch. Yeah, it's just like this weird, like, kooky, weird, silly characters. And they're like, oh, this one's all weirdly designed. And it's like, I just don't like that aesthetic. I mean, it's cool looking, I guess, but it's just like, it feels like it doesn't almost have a distinct style. It's just like, whatever, man. You can just make all these characters look silly. Like, I don't know. But like I said, I don't really care about that. I just like, it's a multiplayer game, so I'm automatically not interested in it. And it's like, I don't even know what this is. Why am I going to get excited for a game when I don't even know what the fucking gameplay is like? Mm-hmm. And then we move on to, they showed Ori Will of the Wisp, which we already know what Ori is. I'm kind of actually playing through the first one finally right now. It's a good game.
Enjoying it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, it's fun.
We'll see. But yeah, so I don't know. Nothing to get excited about either. And then they show off this new Minecraft. They find from the makers of Minecraft. They make a new game, and it's Minecraft Dungeons. It's like a co-op dungeon crawler. And it's like, okay, like this is cooler than Minecraft, in my opinion. Like it's at least a fucking game where it has like a structure to it. Mm-hmm. But I just can't stand the Minecraft aesthetic, so I would just never play anything that's Minecraft. What about you?
It's like, again, like it's not for me. Like I don't care about that sort of thing. It's for kids.
Yeah, like a co-op dungeon crawler is like a game that I would like to play. But yeah, once you add the Minecraft aesthetic on top of it, I'm like, no thanks. And then after that, they showed off Jedi Fallen Order. Now, I thought this looked pretty damn cool. What did you think about it?
I was disappointed because I was really looking forward to this, but I was disappointed in the fact that they could have done something really cool, but it's like, oh, we got Tomb Raider, Uncharted, Prince of Persia. It's just going to be one of those games with like you play as a Jedi this time. I don't know. I just didn't see anything that was really like, holy shit, this is Star Wars. It just seemed like a reskin.
Yeah, well, after the sort of Star Wars 1313 game got canceled years ago, I have always wanted a sort of Uncharted Star Wars type game. I don't know if this is going to be completely that, but I think it does look pretty cool. What I like about it is it has sort of grounded feel to me with the combat. Like, it feels like they're really trying to, because video games have always had a problem sort of portraying what it would feel like to be a Jedi in certain ways, especially when it comes to the lightsaber. I guess my only complaint or counter argument to even my own argument is that, like, you're still doesn't look like you're like dicing people up with a lightsaber. I think that's the problem you're always going to have with the lightsaber in video games. It's like, well, technically it would cut through limbs and heads and bodies. And so, like, they don't want it to be like super graphic either. So it's just like you're hitting people with a lightsaber and it's like not cutting through them. And it's just like a weird thing they always do with video games. Like, there's been very few that have sort of done that in a way that was satisfying. But other than that, like, I kind of like how everything's grounded. Like, you really have to like sort of stop and sort of take into account all the enemies around you. You're like dodging and blocking. So it's not like you're just like a superhero either. Like, of course you have force powers and you got a lightsaber and you're flipping around and stabbing and stuff like that. But I like how they sort of slow down the pace a little bit and make you sort of deal with each enemy. Like, you got to block blaster bolts and all this other stuff. I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm still excited about it. I thought the graphics, like some of the character models and stuff, could have looked a little bit better. I like how this sort of ties into some of the Rogue One characters and stuff like that. And there's speculation that it might even have Darth Maul in it at some point, since he's still technically alive in the new canon. But I don't know. But yeah, I'm still excited for this. It didn't blow me away, but I'm still gonna pre-order and buy it.
I'm looking forward to the story. That's basically it. I'm just gonna play it to see where it goes, because it takes place after Return of the Jedi, right? So it's
it's after Episode 3.
Oh,
so
sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry, yeah, Revenge of the Sith. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, so it takes place after Order 66, basically, where all the Jedi are hunted down and stuff like that.
I just hope it ties into everything, and it's not this like outlier that doesn't really bridge. It just goes nowhere and it ends. You know what I mean? It has no ramifications for whatever happened later on.
Yeah, well, they're not doing a very good job with the new canon since Disney took over. True. And we do have a problem with even past Star Wars video games like being really stupid and either fucking up the canon, but some of them added to the canon. So I don't know. It's hard to say. We won't know. But yeah, I'm not really hopeful that this is going to add anything meaningful. I'm just hoping it's a fun Star Wars romp. But moving on from this, a weird game. It's a Blair Witch game of all things from Bluebird, the makers of Observer and Layers of Fear. I don't know. It looks okay. At first I thought it was like Outlast 3 or something, because he pulls up a camcorder, and you had a camcorder in that game. So I don't know. I was kind of confused for a minute, and then when they said Blair Witch, I'm like, who wants to return to Blair Witch? This movie from like 20 years ago. I don't know. What did you think about it?
I don't care about this like horror genre. I don't like the movies. I don't play horror games. I don't like jump scares. It's just fine. I'm a pussy, whatever. I just don't like it. I don't get off on it, on being scared or like being so tense that like something's gonna fucking happen. I just don't play these games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play horror games. They don't like scare me, or I'm not like too afraid to play them. I'm just bored with the horror genre in general, even with movies. I just don't watch that shit. But a game I'm actually more inclined to play than watch a horror movie. So I don't know if this is like one of those things where it's like, it's available on Game Pass. I'll probably check it out, but it didn't really do a lot for me other than that. But let's get to one of the more exciting, memeable things that happened in E3 this year, which is Cyberpunk. Again, didn't show any fucking gameplay whatsoever. Even though we did get that huge hour-long gameplay reveal thing last year, which I'm more than happy with that. I probably don't really need to see any more Cyberpunk, although I totally will look at it if they do release some footage. But yeah, so yeah, we didn't get any new gameplay footage, but the coolest reveal, I guess, was Keanu Reeves is in the game. He's like a meaningful character. And so this just became like the biggest fucking news of E3, and endless fucking memes on the internet related to Keanu Reeves being in Cyberpunk 2077. And then we got the
simply breathtaking.
Yeah. And the release date, which is now 4/16/2020. So what do you think about this Keanu Reeves shit?
Cool. I'm a fan of Keanu Reeves. You know, I've always liked him. He's an interesting person. To me, like the stuff that he does is cool. So having him in the game, fine with me. A lot of movies that he's in, I love. So
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really move the needle for me either way. Like Keanu Reeves is cool and he's fine and all. I'm not like a huge fan, but I'm also like don't hate him or anything for sure. He's been in a lot of cool shit, like you said. But there's just I don't know. There's something about it where like Cyberpunk had this very distinct style and it just felt like really cool. And then something about seeing like Keanu Reeves in it just like sort of changes it in a way for me. You know what I mean? Like it almost like gives it this air of like, oh, this is like I don't know. It just like kind of.
I can understand it. Like it makes it more mainstream, but I think the connection is because Keanu Reeves, he's done like samurai movies, kung fu, all that stuff, and I think he's trained in all these things, like John Wick. So they used him because he's an action star. You know what I mean? He's not like a traditional '80s action star. He's more modern day. So I think he fits in it. And you're a samurai in this game, basically, right? So I see the connection, why they would pick him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. It's just like I said, it's just weird to pull in like one sort of celebrity in a world where everything else sort of feels like unique. Even though Cyberpunk, the sort of Cyberpunk aesthetic is not in and of itself unique. I just thought like the game had like its own unique feel, and I don't know, it's having like a real world like action star, and it just kind of like I don't know, it just makes it weird for me. I don't hate it. I mean, it's probably going to be pretty awesome when you start playing the game, but. Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of like was like a weird, like out of left field thing. I don't know. It's like they didn't really need this to like sell the game either. You know what I mean? Like everyone's pretty fucking sold on this game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe this is like the cherry on top for some people, but I don't really care either way. It's probably gonna be fine, but I don't know. It just seemed a little weird to me. Moving on, there's a little indie game called Spiritfarer. I don't know, somewhere like side scrolly thing where you like deliver these animals to something. I don't fucking know. Battletoads. This is the thing that was your prediction that was already a thing. So it's like a 3-player co-op beat 'em up game, which is kind of what you would expect in a way. Yeah. So what did you think about this?
It was exactly what I expected. Hand drawn, looks cool, looks very similar to the old ones, you know. So like they're also doing like a Streets of Rage 4, which I'm like super excited for because that's one of my favorite games of all time. And it's similar. It's just that like hand drawn side scroller thing that just brings it to modern day, and it's cool. It's nice that it's 3 players again, you know, like as a throwback. But yeah, I don't know. I look forward to playing more beat 'em ups.
Yeah, it's a genre that's not very well utilized anymore. Like you're certainly not going to get like a AAA beat 'em up, which is what I always wish. So yeah, I'll take any of this kind of stuff. I think the art style and everything looks pretty cool, so I'm definitely in with this. And then there was another game called RPG Time, The Legend of Right, which I don't know how to even describe this game other than it's like a person's like sort of notebook sketchings of things, and there's weird like papercraft art style in certain parts. I don't know what this game is. It looks kind of cool and weird, but I don't know. Did you see this at all?
Yeah, I'm an RPG nut, but when I see things that are gimmicky, I immediately think like, okay, we'll see. You know what I mean? Like, I want to play it. I don't nerd out over gimmicky things because usually if there's a gimmick, there's probably something else that falls to the wayside, like gameplay, or it's going to come out and it's busted a bit or something. So I'm just like, that's cool, but we'll see when it gets released.
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those wait and see for sure. So then Microsoft goes into a sizzle reel of indie games that they said will all be on Game Pass day one. So we got a game called Dead Static Drive, Pathologic 2, Star Renegades, After Party, The Good Life, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, Creature in the Well, Killer Queen Black, River Bond, Unto the End, Blazing Chrome, Felix the Reaper, Undermine, Supermarket Shriek, Secret Neighbor, Eichenfell, Lord of the Rings Living Card Game, Totem Teller, and Crosscode. Did you look at that sizzle reel and anything jump out at you?
Nothing.
I mean, I think a lot of them look cool. It's just one of those, like it's going to be free on Game Pass, so I'll download it and try it.
Yeah, that's
with
it.
All these.
They're really teaching us to not buy anything anymore.
Yeah, that is really what we're being told with like, I mean, even the ones even the AAA games they added to Game Pass, like fucking Metro Exodus that I just bought back in February is already free on here. It's just like, so do I not buy any games anymore? Because you're just telling me. I mean, I'm pretty much not buying any Microsoft first party games anymore because I got Game Pass. So it's like, and now all these indie games that I'm just like always looking at and being like, this looks cool. I don't know. Like the market's just kind of flooded with indie games now too, where it's just like, I just don't even know. Like I don't even notice half of them. And so, yeah, these will just all be try when they come to Game Pass.
A bunch of the games that I've purchased that are indie games are on Game Pass like a month later. Like Guacamelee 2 is on there now, and Wargroove, and like a whole bunch of stuff. And I paid like $25 for them. And it's like, I want to support the developers, but at the same time, I own that game for maybe like a month, 2 months, and then you put it on Game Pass, which I already subscribed to. So it's like, I definitely am not going to be buying any indie games ever again, because you're teaching me to do this. And that's within the last 3 months you've done it to me with like 4 games. So forget it.
Yep. But speaking of Game Pass, so they're launching Game Pass on PC with over 100 games. And a cool thing, I was sitting there watching this as they're talking about it. I'm like, okay, well, are you going to ask me to double dip here? Because I'm already paying for Game Pass on Xbox. Like, I damn well better get, Game Pass on PC. But they had a cool sort of upgrade thing that you could do to Ultimate, Game Pass Ultimate, where you would get Xbox, PC, and Xbox Live for $14.99 a month. I think this is a hell of a deal. What do you think about this?
It is a really good deal, and I'll probably wait till both of my subs run out, and I'll probably gauge if it's worth it. Like if I could save like $4 or $5 a month by not getting like the ultimate, because I'm not really going to be playing on PC, then I'm just going to get the 2 separate things. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's worth it to me because, like I said, once you bundle in the cost of Xbox Live and everything with this, I almost upgraded instantly that night. But I'm like, well, I just re-upped my Xbox Live subscription back in February because that's when it renews for me. So I didn't know if I would be reimbursed for the time that what I'm saying? Like I didn't know. I feel like I'd have to get more information before I pull the trigger on that. But I'm definitely going to be doing that for sure. And then after that, they showed Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I don't know. Have you ever played a flight simulator?
Well, you know me, I can't handle like spinny things and all that because of motion sickness. So yes, I have. Do I give a shit about it? No.
No, it does look pretty damn good for a flight simulator, though.
They showed off, boring.
Yeah, I mean, probably boring, but people like Euro Truck Simulator and Farm Simulator and all this other shit. People love doing mundane fucking shit in the game, and supposedly you can learn like legit flight tactics and stuff playing these flight simulators. So I don't know. I would fuck around with it, especially if it was something that like came to Game Pass or PC Game Pass. I would totally fuck around with it.
I would only play it if we could like fuck around with other people in it. You know what I mean? Like if we can crash into people or like screw up the runway. Or you know what I mean? Like I love doing that stuff, causing chaos, but I wouldn't play it to like actually simulate it.
Yeah, I don't think this is that game then. So then they showed off Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, and then we get Wasteland 3. Any of those things do anything for you?
Age of Empires is kind of enticing because I haven't played a really good RTS in a long time, so I might check into that. For Wasteland, I didn't really like the other Wastelands. They were so, I don't know, like the second one that they released, it was just so, it just felt unfinished. It looked dirty. It looked old. I just, no thanks.
Yeah, I haven't tried them yet, so we'll see. But then Microsoft revealed that they bought Double Fine Studios, which is, I think, a pretty damn cool acquisition for them. But the thing is, I'm just not a Double Fine guy. Like, I just don't care about any of their games. What do you think about Double Fine?
I've liked a lot of their games. Most of their games I find to be very creative and different. Like some of the mechanics and stuff are pretty like norm. Like they're pretty normal. But like the storytelling, like what was it, Costume Quest, and they did Brutal Legend, which I really, really, really liked. I thought that was a super fun game and had a great soundtrack. They have a whole bunch of games that I actually really enjoyed. So, but being acquired by Microsoft might shove their hands up their ass, you know what I mean, and use them as puppets. So who knows what's going to happen.
They kind of joked about that on stage. Whenever what's his name? What's the guy's name? The
Schafer.
Tim Schafer. Yeah. When he came out on stage, he's like, we're here to make a Halo game for you, or maybe a Gears of War spinoff. And he's like, no, we're not going to make you do that. He's like, oh, thank God, because we didn't want to. So yeah, that was like the first joke they made on stage about this. But yeah, I don't think like Double Fine games are bad or anything. That just none of them are really spoke to me. But I haven't played a ton of them. Also, there's just I don't know. They're just like these weird, quirky, silly, like kind of offbeat sense of humor to stuff that just doesn't really appeal to me all that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. This might be fun. But now we're gonna get all Double Fine games free on Game Pass. So I'll probably be more inclined to play them. I kind of wish they would move back into doing something more like Brutal Legend, which I know they got Psychonauts 2 in the works, which is kind of more AA, AAA type of game. I'd be more interested if they were going to do something along those lines. Did you play the first Psychonauts?
No, I didn't actually, because I didn't have an Xbox at the time, and it just got swept away. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't play it at the time, I just didn't get to play it. So it's something I want to try because I hear how amazing it is. But I don't know, one day. I just have too much in my backlog, right? I can't. There's no looking back. You know what I mean? Like it's too late.
Yeah, well, that's too far looking back for me. But yeah, I never played it either, so I don't know what to think about it. Moving on here though, they showed Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I guess that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Because if there's anything the world needs, it's another fucking Dragon Ball Z goddamn game or anything really.
The retelling of the same story we've been hearing for decades.
Christ. Just fuck off with Dragon Ball already, Jesus. And then a game by Annapurna Studios, 12 minutes. It's like a top-down sort of time loop game where something keeps like a Groundhog Day type thing where events keep happening over and over again. They play out in different ways. I didn't really know what to make of it. Look kind of cool. I don't know. Another little weird indie game called Way to the Woods where you play as like a deer and there's like a baby deer following you around, and I guess you're going through this world of like it's like a post-apocalyptic thing where there's no humans around. I don't know. So it's artsy and weird and maybe cute and fun. I don't know. And then they get to Gears 5, and lo and behold, what do we get from Gears 5? A game that's coming out in literally 3 months, I think. No fucking gameplay. And then they reveal this new story or this new game mode called Escape. It's like a 3-player co-op thing where you're like apparently breaking into the heart of the hive or whatever they're called, the fucking Lotus or whatever. I don't even know what the enemies are now. And you're like planting a bomb and then you have to get out, like try to escape. The funny thing about this is the like stage, the E3 stage, like kind of like breaks apart in the middle and like steam starts coming out and it's like something's about to happen. And then like the camera goes back and then it goes down like under the stage. And they have these like, it's like supposed to look like a Gears of War style like level where they have the little, I don't know what they're called, the little locust pod things where like the shit burst out of them when you're playing through the game, you know, like you shoot them.
Yeah,
they have a bunch of those, and then it's like 3 WWE wrestlers are down here about to play the new game mode. And then they just cut to like a CG concept trailer of the game mode. Like, don't even show it. Don't even show the guys playing it. I'm like, what was the point of any of this? Like this whole production of like creating this weird fucking Gears of War set and having these people like under the stage, and then you don't show shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you not showing like one of your premier titles, like fucking Gears 5?
That's going to be released.
Gameplay?
Yeah, you got gameplay. Like it's fucking built and it's ready almost. So why aren't you showing it?
We had more gameplay last year. And then they have this weird Terminator crossover, which this is going to come up multiple times because I don't know what's happening of this like weird turn, like, but it's also vague. It's like Terminator and Gears. Like, what is it? What is it? What's the crossover? Is it a mode? Is it character models? Like, what is it? It's weird because like Mortal Kombat 11 is supposed to have some kind of Terminator crossover, and then Ghost Recon Breakpoint is supposed to have some kind of weird term. Like, what is this Terminator thread here? What and like, but none of them explain like what it is or like how it's integrated into the game. I don't fucking get it. Anyways, so I guess we'll just play Gears 5 on Game Pass. Well, I guess that'll be when I see what the fucking game looks like. And then they announced a new Xbox Elite controller with even more little customizable shit you can do to it.
I'm still using my regular controller, you know, like I'm still using that thing.
Yeah, I mean this stuff is not really for me. I have the Elite controller and I almost never use it just because I don't need all this fucking esports pro shit on there. You know, I don't need all these paddles and stuff. I'm not like super, you know, spin around 360 no scope shooter player guy. So I don't need any of this extra stuff. I mean, we've talked about the controller before. It's It's an incredible controller for sure, but I don't need another one for sure. And then they showed some Dying Light 2, and then of course it wouldn't be a Microsoft E3 press conference unless they had a pointless fucking car, like a fucking $1 million car on stage. And so I was just waiting for it the whole time. And what happens? Rolls out fucking Lego car, a fucking like Lamborghini or whatever the fuck it is, like made out of fucking Legos. So apparently Forza Horizon is going to have a Lego DLC. And I just fucking threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Really?
Because
I think it looks neat. It looks neat.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it. I'm not saying I'm going to play it. I just think it looks neat. Like, it's cool.
I just can't. It's right up there with Minecraft for me, where I can't stand the Lego aesthetic. And I don't like the Lego games. So anything Lego, I'm out immediately. So this is like the worst thing they could do to even bring me back into Forza Horizon 4 would be fucking Lego DLC. Get the fuck out of here with that. And then they show this Gears Pop game, which they revealed last year, which is like the Funko Pop things.
Yeah.
But like with Gears. And it's apparently some just mobile trash game. I don't fucking know. It just looks so dumb. Did you see this? What'd you think?
It's same as you. I just
It's
deleted
right-
it. I deleted it
right
out of
up-
my mind. I'm not going to play it. I don't care. Why is this here?
Yeah, I file that away in the Lego craft folder of just like an aesthetic that can just fuck off. Then they showed State of Decay 2 Heartland DLC, which like, I mean, we both still have that game on Game Pass.
It's too late.
But, like,
It's too late.
Yeah, it's too late. You should have made the game you said you were gonna make last year when it came out. And like, I don't give a fuck about this stuff. And then the weirdest reveal of maybe the entire Microsoft press conference, in my opinion, was Phantasy Star Online 2, which I guess is a game that's been in Japan or overseas for a while now. I don't know. What do you know about Phantasy Star?
I haven't played any of them. I just know that they're like beloved. I've never played any of them. They seemed fine. It's just there's too many games, right? So you can't get to it. But I don't know. It looks fine. I probably won't play it because I haven't played the series before.
Well, I don't think you need to, but yeah, there's like a subset of people that probably lost their fucking mind over this announcement, because like I know people back in the day, because the Phantasy Star Online was like one of the first console online games for the Dreamcast back in the day, but I never played it, so I don't really have any point of reference for how interesting or exciting this could potentially be. It's some fucking Japanese shit. So I don't know. We'll see. But I know there's some people out there that fucking lost their mind over this announcement, and it's kind of weird and cool. But then there's some other game they announced called Crossfire X that apparently is like some free-to-play game in other markets or something. I don't... Again, they show a fucking CG trailer of it, concept thing. Don't know what this fucking game is, so just fuck off. Same with Phantasy Star. Don't know what that fucking game is. You just showed a bunch of like sizzle shit of like anime looking characters running around bashing stuff. And I don't know what the game is. You didn't tell me what it is. And then another Japanese sort of role playing game, Tales of Arise, which I can kind of guess what that game is because I know what JRPGs are. I guess if you're into these weird Tales games and stuff like that, you would be interested in that. They showed Borderlands 3, nothing significant or meaningful. And then they showed the new From Software game, Elden Ring. And again, showed no fucking gameplay, just all like, ooh, hype trailer, like, ooh, new From Software game. It's written by George R.R. Martin, because apparently he's never going to finish Game of Thrones books. He's just going to fuck off and do whatever he wants from now on.
Well, he probably got a big
video
payday.
games and whatever else. Yeah, he's just fucking collecting money now. He doesn't give a shit about fucking anything, especially Game of Thrones now. I don't think he gives one single fuck about it. But yeah, so this is like, I'm not the customer for a From Software game anyway, so I probably wouldn't care even if they did show footage of this. But again, why show it if you're not going to tell me what the fucking game is? I mean, I can imagine what it is, because all From Software games are similar, but yeah, I don't know. And then they talk about their Xbox streaming service, xCloud. And they're saying like, your Xbox is going to be your own personal server, if you don't have one, you can pull from their data center. But he's talking about like Phil Spencer on stage. He's talking about where you play is up to you. And then it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, does that mean we're going to be playing Xbox games like on our phone, on other platform?
My
like,
microwave.
Yeah. So like, I don't know what that means. Like, you say I can play anywhere. Well, like, where would I be playing other than on a TV? So I don't know. They're very vague about all this shit. Everything in this fucking conference is just vague and like unsatisfying information, especially once we move into finally talking about the next Xbox that'll be coming out, I guess, next year. I don't know. We don't fucking know anything. So they're going to have reduced load times, an SSD, and SSD will be used as virtual RAM sometimes. And it's going to be the biggest leap ever. Oh my God. Custom Zen 2 Navi AMD processor, frame rates and resolutions never seen before. Oh my God. Up to 120 frames per second, which is actually the only thing interesting that was said. So like I said before on the podcast, I want these next gen consoles to get above 30 frames per second. So if they're going to be able to do that, at least give me 60. But if you're talking up to 120 frames per second, then I'm definitely interested. And then they mentioned like 8K capabilities. And I'm like, we don't fucking need 8K. We don't need it.
No.
We just got 4K. And like people haven't even adopted that. And you're already trying to move on to 8K. Like, just fuck off with this. And then next, go ahead.
The whole, like, we already talked about this with next gen, how it's being like forced on us. We're not ready. We haven't reached the full potential of what we have now. And when they were going through all this stuff, I had the same response as you. It's just like what the fuck? I'm not excited about this. I don't need this. Like, they're just like, it's a huge leap. It's a huge leap. And it's just like, so what? You're telling us about quicker load times and shit, and it's like, well, you're going to have games on it that are going to require more power, so how much quicker are they really going to be? I'm not going to be fucking playing all current gen games on it so that the load times are cut to like an eighth of the time, and I can wait those 10 seconds for the game to load. So it's just, this is not impressive to me. I'm still not impressed with, like, the next generation is coming around the corner. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and this didn't. I felt like this is where they were supposed to sell us on the new Xbox. I mean, I know they got one more E3 before it launches next year, but with Sony not showing up this year, all the stuff they talked about as far as their next gen console are essentially the exact same things that Sony said like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, so you didn't differentiate yourself whatsoever from the competition. And, to be frank, I thought that Microsoft was just going to come out to E3 this year and just throw their dick on the table and be like, you're going to fucking buy an Xbox next gen. Like, and this is why. Well, the last thing on this list, I'll just get through this before I continue with my spiel on fucking Microsoft this year. They show Halo Infinite, like, in-game footage. So it's not footage from the game. I don't know. It's just, it was like a weird, it's just like a weird demo to me to show. Like, it didn't, the tone felt a little bit off for Halo, in my opinion. And it didn't like get me excited. I was waiting for like them to like blow my dick off with like what the next Halo is going to be, because it's rumored to be like more Destiny like in its single player side. And this is like, they're ditching the numbering sequence. This is not Halo 6, even though I guess it's Halo 6. They're calling it Halo Infinite, and it's going to be a launch game for the next Xbox, but probably still playable on current Xboxes. So again, they show one of their premier they save it for last. So you're like, okay, they're going to blow it out of the water with fucking Halo. And then fucking nothing. No gameplay of Halo either. No gameplay of Gears. They didn't show any fucking first party games that they bought all these studios for. All my predictions about, they're going to show Fable, all this other stuff. Like, where is all the hype at? You're not selling me on a next gen Xbox. I mean, I'm obviously going to buy it anyway, but I'm just saying for like the people that like did not come over to your side this generation, like, I thought you were just going to lay it all out on the line here and really fucking get people hyped for the next Xbox. And I just didn't see anything from this conference that fucking got me excited at all. I don't know. What about you?
It's like you said in the beginning, the theme of this E3 was like it fell flat. It was boring. It wasn't that great. And I feel like E3 kind of needs to die. It's been dying, but this year to me it was like, yeah, it's time to get the gun out and pull the trigger, because we got to send this fucking thing out to pasture. I think it's a relic of the past. It's not necessary. We had tons of leaks before the fucking thing even happened.
Yeah, that's another sad thing, is like half the shit leaks before you even see it. So, you don't even get that little bit of excitement from it.
No. So I feel sorry for people that go to this, and I don't know how much a ticket is. I don't know if you get like all this cool shit while you're there either, but it just feels like I would never want to go to it ever. When I was younger, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to go. But now it's like, I have no interest in ever going to this thing because I can barely watch it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I remember, late 90s, like early 2000s, just like longing, just like so jealous of the people that got to go to E3 every year. And now it's just like, I would never fucking go to this shit. It's just pointless. And you could make the argument that okay, a lot of these game companies waste so much time putting together a gameplay demo or a playable build of their game for E3 that's a kind of a waste of time. But I mean, this is a video game fucking conference, and all I do is see fucking trailer after trailer after trailer. Like, no fucking gameplay, nothing meaningful. Like,
you can do that on YouTube.
Yeah, I can just watch YouTube and see all this shit. Like, why do we need any of this if you're not going to show me the fucking games? I just don't get it.
And people come out, and they're almost always the most fucking awkward people, reading off the teleprompter, shitty jokes, and like you said, like the Terminator under the stage thing that happened. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, that was a huge waste of like tens of thousands of dollars. It's just the spectacle of it is gone, and it's stupid, and it's cringy. I'm cringing half the time when I'm like watching what people do. Like, even when Keanu was up there, he's so fucking awkward, and he knows it, and he's playing into it, and people are laughing about it because it's just such an awkward fucking thing. Like, you come out and he doesn't know anything about the game. He's just reading off the teleprompter, and he even said, like, I just need to get through this, you know, like, and it's just, I feel like everybody that goes up there is like, I just need to get through this, and just go ahead.
I was gonna say, someone made a real life car out of fucking Legos. Like, can you imagine the person that had this? It was like, I can't remember. I think I saw some on Kotaku or something like that. Like, the amount of Lego pieces that were actually went into it. It was like 1 million or something, like something stupid. I'm like, someone built this for the 10 seconds this fucking piece of shit rolls out on stage to announce this goddamn thing. Like, I mean, it's so stupid.
But you know that person probably fucking enjoyed every second of it, because people that are into Lego love it. They love it.
Sure. Okay. I mean, I'm sure someone did like actually care. I mean, it's probably a fucking Lego fanatic that came up with this and helped build it. But it's still just the whole spectacle of it. Like I said, go watch the dumb thing where the Gears 5, where the stage breaks apart and then the camera goes down under it, and it's like, why was any of this fucking necessary? It's so dumb. But yeah, I mean, just in general, I love E3 so much. I get excited for it every year. But man, it was so hard to be fucking excited about it, because like, this is like the first year that me and my best friend didn't get together and watch it, and so that says a lot right there, because that's like a thing we do every year. But so anything else to add about Xbox here, about Microsoft?
No, not really.
All right. Let's move on then. All right, so the next press conference was Bethesda, which I was not going into this year's E3 excited about what Bethesda had in store, because they're kind of on the ropes a little bit after Fallout 76 last year, and we know for sure that their Starfield game and the next Elder Scrolls 6 are not coming out for a while. So I was wondering what they were even going to show that could possibly be interesting. So they start out with their new Elder Scrolls Blades mobile game that was, I think, came out last year after last year's E3. I don't think I've ever actually played it, but it's a free mobile Elder Scrolls game. And then they announced that it's coming to Switch also for free. So I'm like, okay, well, it's free and it's on Switch. I might download that. What do you think about this?
Don't care.
Blades game. Yep, don't care. All right, let's move on. So then of course they're going to have to address Fallout 76 in this thing. Of course they're going to have to do it. So, I mean, I think they kind of handled it in a good way. They admitted that, like, it wasn't the best, but they do have a community that's, rallied around it and still likes it regardless. Because, some people just like shit. And so they announced this new Wastelanders free update that's coming soon. And it's going to add quest and human NPCs. Oh, my God. Can you imagine a Fallout game with quest and human NPCs? I mean, how fucking excited are you to have an actual Fallout game?
It's just it's gonna be busted because no one plays this fucking game. There's not gonna be enough people to support human NPCs. You know what I mean? Like,
well, no, I'm just saying they're gonna have like actual NPCs in the game though. Like before, there was nothing. Like your quests and sort of the way you were being strung along throughout the world was just all this like audio shit. See, so it's not actual players.
The way, okay, I see. The way you had it in the notes made me think like humans, like us, we could be NPCs to sell shit and get quests and stuff. That's what I see. Because I didn't watch this crap. Because we fucking talked about it. I sent this back to Amazon. I don't give a shit about this game. Okay, so So I misread that. My idea is cooler, actually, isn't it? To let people be NPCs and they like give people quests and shit.
Yeah, no, that would be fun. That actually sounds interesting. And then they're gonna have a nuclear winter update that I believe is out now. And guess what? It adds to the game. Guess what? Battle Royale. Because that's gonna fucking save this game as a goddamn battle royale mode.
Oh,
it's exactly what this game needs.
I think it's on sale on Amazon. I think I might get it again and then return it as soon as I fucking play the DLC. Fuck this game. Fuck it.
Yeah, you should actually do that. Buy it again from Amazon and then return it again. All right. So what they reveal after that, a new game called Ghostwire Tokyo. It's from Shinji Mikami's Tango Gameworks Studios. They're the people that make the Evil Within games, which I've never played those. Have you?
No, I haven't played them.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I always feel like I want to get around to it, but I never try it because it's kind of survival horror-ish, and I'm like, that's not really my genre. So, again, going with the flow of what makes E3 shitty this year, a whole concept trailer of just, like, characters and things happening, and wow, and I don't know what the fuck this game is. I don't even know why I should care. It's like, you didn't even tell me anything about what this game is. Is it a fucking first-person shooter? Is it a third-person action game? Is it like more like a Evil Within style game? Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know what this game is. And then they show some, Elder Scrolls Online content called Dragonhold, which I don't play Elder Scrolls Online, so don't know how important this is. They tout that this is one of their growing sort of games. There's like 8 million active players on it. And I think this has a pretty good fan base and a pretty good player base, but I've just never gotten around to trying it myself. And then they reveal this Commander Keen game, which is some cartoony shit phone game. But
who asked for this?
Who asked for this? And I had to even look it up because I'm like, what is Commander Keen?
Oh, you didn't know what it was?
No, I didn't even know what it was.
Oh, man.
So I had to look it up. It's a series of side-scrolling platform games that were developed by id Software like back in the early 90s. I don't know. Was this game cool or fun? I've literally never heard of it.
It was before like the Duke Nukem type stuff came in, like just before that.
Yeah. So I was just like, cool. Commander Keen mobile game, yay! And then there's some more content coming from the Elder Scrolls Legends, which is their collectible card game, which I've always meant to try because I do like my collectible card games, but I've just never gotten around to it. And then they show the new content coming for Rage 2, another game that you got for free from Amazon.
I'm gonna get it again. I'm gonna pick it up.
Get it again, play new content, and return it.
Yeah, that's my new thing.
Yeah, just like new cheat codes, new vehicles, pilotable mech, expansion stuff. Yay, more stuff. I don't know. I just wrapped up Rage 2 last week. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it, but I don't know that I want to go back to it. Then they talk about Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which is a VR game. I still have not tried there, man. I said when VR came out, like the ultimate VR game for me would be like a Skyrim in VR. And they literally came out with Skyrim in VR, and I've yet to play it. So I haven't done any of these VR games, but this looks fun. And then they show some Wolfenstein Youngblood, which comes out next month. And the cool addition to this was that it's going to have a 2-player co-op mode, or you can play the whole game co-op 2-player. So
yeah, I'm down.
I don't know. I'm down to play this with you for sure. That's definitely going to happen. Although I would normally pick this up on PC, you probably wouldn't. So I don't know.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it off mic. And then a new game from Arcane Studios called Deathloop. And again, just a snazzy little CG concept trailer. Have no fucking idea what the game is. No idea whatsoever. I mean, you can imagine if it's an Arcane game, it's probably a first-person game where you have it's sort of Bioshock-like or Dishonored-like. But again, have no fucking idea because you didn't show me a lick of gameplay. So you can just fuck off with it for now until you actually want to show something. It
looked like it. The mechanic is like when you die, you just come back and you can do it over again, and you can do it a different way the second time, and you die again. You just repeatedly die and die and die.
Isn't that every fucking video game though?
Yeah, but I know that sounds like it's every fucking game, but it's like that's the core mechanic of this. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Like maybe there's some sort of persistence. Like you did something and it stays there, then you die. It resets everything but certain things. I don't know. And when I saw it, I was like, whatever.
I don't know. I don't. It's like I said. How am I supposed to care about this when you don't tell me what it is?
Mm.
And then they talked about Orion, which is their sort of video game streaming tools that apparently any developer can sort of bolt on to their game engine to help streaming in a cloud environment make game streaming easier. So they're touting that it'll make game content 20% faster per frame, stream up to with up to 40% lower bandwidth, and you can stream games at max settings. And then they showed someone playing on a little phone on stage Doom 2016 that was apparently streaming. I don't know. I mean, everyone's talking about this streaming stuff, so I guess it's the future is coming at us faster than we think. I don't really know what to make of this. It was just a lot of buzzwords and a lot of talk. And then they go on to Doom Eternal, which looks fucking incredible. Did you see the footage of it? I mean, we all know what like Doom looks like. It's nothing really worth talking about. And then they're like, and we got more. We got the battle mode. And it's like, no one liked your fucking deathmatch shit in the last Doom. Like, no one gave a single flying fuck about it. Do you think anyone wants it again? Just make the fucking single player.
You might have pioneered it back in the 90s, but it's like, it's over and done with. Somebody else does this stuff better. Like, don't bother.
Yeah. And it's just like, but they have this new mode where it's like Marines versus demons. But again, they just show gameplay, and it's like, I don't really know. I mean, if you're going to spin it like Left 4 Dead kind of way, then maybe I perk up for that. But I don't really know what this is. It just looks like you can play as demons or Marines and you're killing each other. Whoop-de-doo. And so that's pretty much it for Bethesda. Nothing worthwhile to really talk about. Like I said, the new games that I should have been excited for that they showed with like Ghostwire, Tokyo, and Deathloop, I don't know what those fucking games are, so why should I be excited? Again, E3, video game conference where you don't fucking see video games. Just blows my mind. So the next conference was Devolver Digital. Now, this is almost a forgettable, pointless conference if you didn't have their weird sort of scripted stuff that they do sort of to show their games. Have you watched any of these Devolver Digital press conferences?
No, I skipped this stuff.
They're quite fucking entertaining and funny. Like, so last year they had this woman named Nina that comes out, and it's all like, I guess these are like, they're clearly scripted actors, and they plot out this whole like story around revealing their games. I mean, the press conferences are only like 20 minutes or something like that. You should go watch one. But like at the end of last year's, this guy comes out on stage and just like blows her away with this fucking machine gun. It's like all like graphic looking and shit. And so this year it starts out with her like they're trying to bring her back to life, but she's like stuck in like a coma or like a vegetative state where only her mind's like working. And so they have the E3 press conference in her mind, but it's more like a Nintendo Direct. And it's like, it's hard to describe it, but it's weird, just like humor. It's actually funny though. It's legit funny. And it's like kind of become like my favorite thing at E3 every year is this Devolver Digital, because it's just like, why are these guys even doing this? But it's so hilarious, and you should definitely go watch them, because like I said, they're only like 20 minutes long or something like that. But anyways, so they revealed some games. Are you a big fan of Devolver Digital? Because I like their games quite a bit. I don't play all of them, but I when I was looking through a list of them the other day, I was like, I've actually played a lot of Devolver Digital games actually.
Yeah, I played quite a few of them. I just like it's fine. It's just like another like indie developer that puts out decent games from time to time, and I'll play them. No real opinion, honestly.
I just like their irreverent sort of almost adult sense of humor. It's kind of refreshing in a way. It's, I don't know, like stuff like Hotline Miami and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But so they revealed this game called Fallout, guys, which again, I could not tell what this game was from what they showed, so I had to look it up online afterward. It's apparently a crazy online experience where hundreds of players will compete for the number one spot by advancing through a level, like a castle, like puzzle. It's weird. I don't know. It's like cutesy and silly, and I don't know. Not really interested in it myself. But then they revealed this Devolver bootleg game that you can actually buy on Steam. It's hilarious because it's like you basically can buy bootleg ripoffs of Devolver Digital's games, but these are like actual games. So it's like Enter the Gun Dungeon, Ape Out Jr., So there's like plays on their actual games that they make, like they got Hotline Milwaukee instead of Hotline Miami, and it's just like shittier versions of their games that would seem like it was like some like cheap ripoff that someone would make, like just playing off that, but they like made these games themselves. I don't know, it's kind of funny to me. And then a game called Carry On, which actually looks pretty fucking awesome. You'll have to go look this up if you haven't seen it. It's like a 2D reverse horror side scroller where you play as a amorphous alien that's like going around killing and consuming enemies in the lab that imprisoned you or whatever. I don't know. It's like a sort of 16-bit sort of side scroller game, but it looks real cool. I was kind of digging it quite a bit. And then a DLC for The Messenger. It's called Picnic Planet. Again, The Messenger is like a side-scrolling sort of ninja game. It kind of almost reminds me of like Shadow Warrior was like a 2D side-scroller in a way, where you're like killing demons and shit like that. And it's just over the top and irreverent and silly. And then Enter the Gungeon. So they revealed that they're coming out with an actual arcade cabinet base. It's like a 2-player House of the Dead light gun style game. I don't know. It's such a weird thing to talk about. But yeah, that's like basically all the press conference was. Like 20 minutes of just absurd fucking scripted humor shit and then these games, and it's just the most bizarre thing to watch, but I fucking love it. Then after that was the PC gaming show yesterday. This has been notorious every year for just being completely pointless and boring, but I was off yesterday, so of course I was going to watch all this shit just so I could have something to say about it, I guess. I'm just going to read through the list of games that were revealed there. We'll stop at the ones that we want to talk about. Most of them probably not, though. A game called Evil Genius 2. Don't know shit about it. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which is apparently a cult classic beloved game. I never played the first one. Did you play that one?
No, I never played it either.
Yeah, so I don't know. It looked kind of cool, even though again, they didn't show hardly fuck all for gameplay. You actually had to go to YouTube or a gaming website to see the extended footage of the trailer that actually shows the gameplay, because, God forbid we show gameplay during a video game press conference. A game called Starmancer, Chivalry 2, which looks pretty cool. A game called Mosaic, Midnight Ghost Hunt, which kind of seemed like a weird Ghostbusters-ish type thing. I don't know about it, though. It's like a multiplayer game where you play as ghost hunters and then other people play as a ghost and they're trying to hide. And I don't know. It's just probably nothing worth paying attention to. Unexplored 2, The Wayfarer's Legacy. Now, this actually looked pretty cool. It was like a roguelike type game, which is not my genre, but I was just really digging the art style of this game, so I might check it out later. Mutant Year Zero, Seed of Evil. I guess it's going to be like DLC or an expansion for Mutant Year Zero. Conan Unconquered. Haven't really cared about the Conan games. Moons of Madness, and then another Conan game called Conan Chop Chop, which is like a chibi style game that started as an April Fool's joke, like the developers came out with earlier this year, and then they actually made a game out of it. It looks kind of fun. It's all kind of reminds me of like Castle Crashers or something in a way, so it looks pretty neat. A game called Last Oasis, Age of Wonders Planetfall, and then one that caught my eye, Zombie Army Dead War 4. Now, we played Zombie Army Trilogy on Xbox Game Pass back last year. I actually like that game quite a bit, so I would be down for a new one of these. What do you think?
I'll play it, but the name just sounds like straight to DVD fucking movie, like Zombie Army Dead War 4. Like, and it just needs like a colon and like some other like subtitle there, like Zombie Army Dead War 4, the rise of my anus. I don't know what the fuck it is, but like it's just something.
Yeah,
stupid.
well, it'll be a game we play on Game Pass for free. And then another game called Remnant From the Ashes. Now, this one it's been revealed before E3, but I've never seen it or heard of it. But it looks pretty cool. It's a sort of, they have like art and sort of quests that are pieced together, but it's almost, I don't know, like procedurally generated in a way. It's weird to hear them describe it. But anyway, it's sort of a third-person Dark Souls-like, but co-op Monster Hunter-y game. I think it looks pretty dope. If you haven't seen it, I go check it out. It's going to be something that's going to be on my radar. I think it just like the enemy designs look cool. It just has like a cool style to it, and it look like I said, it looks like a fun co-op sort of Bloodborne type game, but with actual full on 4-player co-op, and you got guns and stuff like that, and you're fighting these big bosses together. I don't know. It looks fun to me. A game called Grifflands, something called Planet Zoo, which looks like Zoo Tycoon. And then they showed some Shenmue 3, and oh my god, this game looks so bad. I'm totally buying it day one. It just looks so awful. I'm just going to play it and fucking laugh at it the entire time. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen Shenmue. I know you know what Shenmue is. But
Shenmue's actually on Game Pass right now, number 1 and 2. So you could even go back and play that shit if you want to get like the full scope of the story here.
But it just, other than like graphically, it doesn't look like it's really been updated at all. Like the writing was terrible, the voice acting was awful, the fucking animations. It's just, it looks like bad in the best way. Like, I'm so looking forward to this because it just looks like it's going to be just fucking point and laugh at this game the entire time and how stupid it is. A game called Songs of Conquest. And now this next thing is actually kind of exciting for me. They start talking about Vermintide 2, and I'm like, yeah, what do you got? Some DLC, some new maps, who gives a fuck? But no, they're adding a versus mode. So gonna have to get Rhodey on the horn. We might be playing this game again if they add a legit versus mode like Left 4 Dead style. In the wake of no fucking Left 4 Dead ever, probably, I guess. This is something to keep an eye on. What do you think about this?
I want to know if people still play it. Like, how big is the community? Because I didn't feel the game was as special as Left 4 Dead. It was fine. Like, it was a good copy of it, but I didn't think it was like special at all. It's just like, oh, cool.
But a versus mode could make it special. That's the point here.
We'll see.
Yeah. A game called Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey. Pathless. Game called Auto Chess. And then one of the standouts here for me is this game called Valfaris. Not wholly original, but it's basically like a 2D Doom, like heavy metal style side scroller. It's just playing this fucking rocking guitars while this dude's running through like blasting shit. It just looks super fucking amazing. This is another standout for me that I would go check out. Like I said, the concept of a 2D sort of Doom like game is not original whatsoever, but man, the style and the music and everything was just like totally making me fucking want to play this like really fucking bad. They showed some Borderlands 3, nothing meaningful. A game called Maneater where you play as a shark, and they thought it was like clever to call it a shark PG. So you're like just the shark that goes around in the ocean, like you can eat people, and I don't know. Looks interesting, I'll say that. Looks different. A game called Telling Lies by the people that made Her Story, where did you ever play Her Story back in the day?
No, I actually wanted to because I feel like it'd be a game that my wife would play with me. She'd be interested in it.
Yeah, it's definitely a girlfriend game because all you're doing is like typing in words and trying to find video clips to piece together the story of like what happened. And that's kind of what this game is too, where they just have all these live actors like acting out these different little things, and you're sort of just watching this like footage of them, and you're trying to like piece together something like a crime happened or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I didn't like Her Story as much as everyone was like making it out to be a big deal when it first came out. Like, oh, it's this indie darling. It's so revolutionary and so cool and so different. And I'm like, I played it and I was like, that was all right. Then they talked about Warframe Empyrean DLC, which me and you aren't Warframe fans, so I know some of our listeners are. This game called Genesis Noir, and then a game called El Hio. So that's pretty much it for the PC game show. Nothing. I mean, some stuff in there that looked cool that I didn't know about. I will say that, but nothing to like lose my shit over.
It's whenever we get to the end of these lists for each conference, it's like, yeah, so we're done. And you kind of look at the ground, put your hand in your pockets, and like kick a can down the street. Like, oh, that was it. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's just move on to Ubisoft. Let's move on to further disappointments here. So they come out and they're playing Assassin's Creed music with an orchestra. And then they announce that, they're doing an Assassin's Creed Symphony tour with an 80-piece orchestra.
I don't remember any of the fucking music out of that game, really. You know what I mean? Like, why would I want to go see this?
I mean, it's like, it's not music that I really care about. It's not that the music's bad. It's just like, I don't really think about it.
No.
And oh my God, I just have to say, since we're talking about this, I was dicking around with a little bit more Odyssey this week. I think I'm finally done with it. But holy shit, the main theme in that game, I swear to God, is like a straight ripoff from Witcher 3. You should just look it up online, maybe even put it into this episode, but I swear to God, it's fucking almost like beat for beat a song from Witcher. Like the normal just music that's just kind of playing like when you're in the menus and just on the overworld, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy. And then they finally showed Watch Dogs Legion. So technically Watch Dogs 3, but I guess they're not going with the 3. They're just calling it Legion. This was probably one of the most interesting things shown at E3, maybe just because it was one of the only games where fucking they showed gameplay of something. But so what did you think about this? Have you seen the footage of it?
Yeah, I haven't played Watch Dogs 2 because I wasn't impressed with Watch Dogs 1. It's just not a game that I'm excited about. I'll get around to playing it one day.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2 was worlds better than the first one. But it's not a series that I'm like fucking just completely into, but it is pretty fun. And this looks cool from the concept of apparently you can just play as any NPC. So you're going around, you're playing as DedSec, and you're like recruiting all these people. I guess you're like hacktivists, and you're building this little activist army. And so you can just go around and recruit NPCs and play as them. And it's like a weird concept where they apparently have all these sort of story beats and like voice dialogue to go along with these NPCs. I'm curious how far this goes, because if you're telling me every NPC in this world is handcrafted and you can play as them and they have their own story and backstory and character and dialogue and animation style, I'd be curious to see how far that goes. But the way they showed it off in this gameplay reveal was pretty impressive. Like in one part, they're playing as this like old woman, and she's like a retired assassin apparently, which made it make more sense later on when you were like, why am I playing as like a 60-year-old woman running around like taking out dudes and stuff like that? But it was kind of funny. And so they're like, I don't know, they're just talking about how you can play however you want, play the kind of characters you want. I was just thinking like it would be funny to have like a whole like just army of like old people in the game where you're just running around playing like old men and old women and just like taking people out and stuff with fucking stun guns and like coming up from behind and fucking bonking them on the head and shit. I don't know. It's the idea of that made me fucking laugh. But it looks really cool, like how you would do that. We'll have to see how it works in practice, but it's a cool concept that at least felt original and new in a game. Like so many of these games are just the same shit with a different paint job slapped onto it. So at least here, it felt like there's an added element that made me more interested in this. I don't know. What did you think about this concept of playing as any NPC in the world and shit?
Again, it sounds like a huge gimmick that you'll do it like 10, 15 times. And then the 16th time, you'll be like, I've seen this bio before, or I've played someone that kind of does this.
Already, yeah. At what point does it? Yeah. At what point does it start to repeat, or there's just like slight variations on it? Yeah. But they did say stuff like they have like unique animation styles. Like the old woman would like when she like hops over like a gate in one part, it's like in a way that like an old woman would like move over something like slow and like really carefully, and even the way that she like walks and stuff, it's like it's neat. But I'm like, how far does this go?
Yeah. How much time does a developer devote to like mocapping it or programming something like that? You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna have like a ton. Like is 20 a ton? 20 a lot? I guess.
Yeah, is it like 100? Is it 500? Like I don't know. I mean, this is impressive, but it's just, yeah, I don't know. But let's move on from that. So, one of the guys from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia walks out on stage, and you're like, what's happening here? And then apparently they are teaming up with Ubisoft to make a TV show called Mythic Quest. It looks like it's going to be sort of like an office style show, but where it's like people that work in a game studio. I don't know. I think this is like a kind of funny and fun idea. Like we'll have to see if it's actually funny, but this is kind of an original idea. Like no one's ever made a show about making video games, like a mockumentary kind of thing, or whatever you call these fake documentary style shows. I don't know. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I think it's gonna have one season and it'll just be canceled. That'll be it. It just has that feel to it. Like it's a cool idea, but it goes nowhere.
It's been relegated to like a Apple TV thing, and I'm like, oh well, you've already. If you're not on Netflix or something like that, then you're pretty much asking to just be fucked off. And then they showed some Rainbow Six DLC, talked about the new season. Neither one of us care about that. Showed some more Ghost Recon Breakpoint stuff, like John Bernthal, which is the main villain of the game, which is the guy from The Walking Dead and the guy that plays Punisher in the Netflix series. He comes on stage and just talks about, hey, it was fun to play this character in this game. Thanks for letting me do it. Oh, and the Terminator crossover. What? And all right, peace out. And it's like, no gameplay footage shown. I mean, I know what Ghost Recon is. I don't need to see it, but it's just like, what was the point in any of this? Like, he comes on stage with a dog too, and he just like, I don't know if it's his. I guess it's his dog, and he just like tells it to just like lay there while he gives this speech, and it's just like, what is even happening? Like, why was this necessary? So stupid. But then they move on to Just Dance, and of course, it's not a Ubisoft press conference without a bunch of fucking idiots coming out and dancing on stage and like, yeah, Just Dance. So that can get fucked off too. Then they showed like this weird For Honor limited time event. Again, just all concept trailery shit with like characters doing stuff. And I was thinking like, okay, are they going to have like a weird story mode? Is this like a spinoff? I don't know. Again, just I don't know what the shit is you're showing me on screen. I don't know why I should care about any of this. And then again, we move into this Rainbow Six Quarantine thing that they reveal. This is like a 3-player co-op mode, like a PvE type thing. And again, it's like a weird CG concept trailer of like a character's like backing up, and there's like weird monsters like moving around in the shadows. And I'm like, what are you fighting? Is it like, is this going to be like a zombies type mode? Like, I don't know what this is. Again, then they tell you fuck all about it, other than like, this is a Rainbow Six spinoff called Quarantine. It's 3-player co-op. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that sounds interesting to me, but you told me nothing. You told me fuck all. Then they move into their Division 2 Year 1 plans and all the shit they got going on in that. And then, hey, we're going back to New York eventually. Remember from the first game when you were in New York? And I don't know, they didn't really sell me on why I should continue to play this game or care. Like, I mean, I'll show up if there's more story missions, I guess. I'm not buying this Year 1 season pass. You've already shown that like you're just gonna fall off a cliff with this series every time you release one. It's fun for a month or two, and then there's no end game to speak of. And then they announced a Division movie is happening, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's like, cool, I guess. Who fucking cares? And then they announced their Uplay Plus, which is basically like EA's Origin or Game Pass. It's only available on PC right now, but you get all of Ubisoft's backlog for $14.99 a month. I did have Origin for a while, never used it. I love Game Pass. This would be good, but again, I would be stuck playing all my Ubisoft games on PC, and I don't always play them all on PC, so I don't know. What do you think about this?
I thought it was funny because all their fucking games are massive checklists, right? So it's not like the value's there. You'd be stuck playing a game to completion for 3 months, and then you basically just bought that game, and then you move to the next game. Like, you can't really jump around in these games because they're all like these massive open world activity simulators.
Yeah, and they didn't clarify if you're getting games like day one with this, like Game Pass does, because I would be more interested in that. And yeah, if this was like, this goes across Stadia, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, I would probably do that. I would probably do it because I love my Ubisoft games, but I don't know, like how many of these subscription services are we gonna have to start paying for here pretty soon? You know what I mean? Like, everything's a fucking subscription service now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be cheaper in the long term. $14.99 seems a bit high, especially when you could get like EA's Origin, just the basic model that they first started out with, for like $30 for a year. Like, that was way more consumer friendly in my opinion. And then they revealed, which kind of leaked before E3, this game called Roller Champions, which is sort of like roller derby meets Rocket League kind of thing. It's actually free to play right now. You can download like a demo and try it out. I downloaded it last night, but didn't get around to it. Have you seen this? What'd you think about it?
Again, who asked for this? Like, I don't know. It's just this isn't something to fucking show at E3. You know, like, it's just like, there it is. Great, thank you.
Cool. And then they revealed their newish property again, CG concept trailer for it. No gameplay. Some guy comes out on stage. He's just talking about This is our new game we've been working on. Ubisoft has been dipping into history for years now with the Assassin's Creed franchise, and the only thing we haven't touched is the idea of mythology kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like Greek.
So like Greek mythology, like mythologies and different cultures and stuff like that. So they're making this game called Gods and Monsters that I assume will be some weird open world. It almost looked like almost Breath of the Wildish as far as like art style, not quite as colorful and cartoony, but sort of like a blend between like Assassin's Creed and like Breath of the Wild, like somewhere in between that. But like I said, it was a CG trailer, so I don't really know what the game looks like. They said this was like what it's supposed to be like, so I don't know. Again, Ubisoft used to be the best about ending their press conferences with like a cool surprise, and like this, they totally did it this year. But it's like, but you didn't show me any fucking gameplay, so why am I excited for this? Why? Again, this is what we keep coming back to. Like, we got these new games, which is what we show up to E3 for, is to see new games, and like, but really all we got is new trailers for you. Ha ha.
You know what it's like? Yeah. It is like whoever planned the way their press conference was going to unfold was sitting at a desk, and there's just fucking papers everywhere. And the guy's just like, who's going out first? Okay, you go out first. And he's just like flipping through papers on the thing. Like, okay, well, what's next? And they're so focused on just making these games that they're not paying attention to like hyping the shit out of it and getting pre-orders and all this other stuff. And it just falls flat.
Yeah. And it's just like we have a problem in the games industry where people show things too soon.
Yeah.
And like, so it's just, I mean, good Lord, man. Like, why show this if you don't even have like just a mock gameplay or something that I can like care about? I just don't.
They have time. They have a time slot, and I guess they got to fill it with something.
Yep. All right, let's move on. All right, so the conference that ended off yesterday was Square-Enix. Normally, I would not be excited for Square-Enix, other than they were going to show Final Fantasy VII Remake and the Avengers game. So they just came right out of the gate with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I got to say, this was the most fucking exciting thing at E3 for me. The remake looks fucking incredible. It looks perfect, in my opinion. What did you think?
I'm looking forward to it. It does look fucking amazing. Like, it's great. I'm just concerned about, like, when are the other parts coming out? Like, it's going to take so long.
Yeah, but man, like, did you watch the presentation? Did you see gameplay?
I saw the gameplay. It looks like so much fun. Like, it does look like Final Fantasy 15 in a way, but it just, like, hearing the music and just like the nostalgia's there, right? And you're just like, this is going to be amazing.
But the way they handle the combat, I think it's just like so perfect. Like, it's the real-time action that you would want from a modern game. And then once you build up your little A/B meters from like attacking characters, that's when you can like pause the action, then go in and select like your potions or your sort of limit break stuff and the
materia.
Yeah, materia. Fucking Christ, man. So you can select all those attacks and then do them from there. And I just think it's like a cool way to sort of blend like pausing the action and selecting your attacks with like real time action, and how all that like mixes together, and how you can switch characters at any time, so you can play as Barrett in like a third person shootery type way almost, and stuff like that. I just think it's really cool. And when they show that first boss fight with the spider bot, I was just like completely sold on the game at that point. Like, the way that boss fight plays out now, and the different phases and the stuff you got to do, like switching back and forth between Cloud and Barrett and all that stuff. Oh, it was fucking perfect. It's fucking brilliant. And it's the way the characters look, the way the game looks, the music. It was just totally fucking, like, I got chills at one point watching that, like, legit. Like, I was just like, holy shit. So yeah, I'm super fucking excited for this now. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this, but I wasn't really like hyped for it. But now I'm fucking hyped for this shit.
You know what I actually really liked? I liked how they're gonna bring back the multiple disc thing. It's like of course you fucking guys will, because you guys are notorious for 4-disc epic games, and now you're gonna do it on 2 Blu-rays. Like, it's just
it's gonna be the first part of Final Fantasy is gonna be on 2 Blu-rays. But it is what we speculated about, though. Like, Midgar is the first episode or part, so that's kind of cool. That seems like they got that down as far as a good system. Like I said, I'll be curious to see what they do beyond that. But I think Midgar did make the most sense. So yeah, I was super excited. It was the only thing again, because they showed gameplay, they had trailers, everything. They gave you the whole package here with revealing what Final Fantasy VII Remake would be like. And I don't know, it just got me so fucking hyped. And then they moved into Life is Strange 2, which I don't really care about. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition. I think that was an old GameCube game.
It's old.
I remember. Octopath Traveler comes to PC. The Last Remnant Remastered. Dragon Quest Builders 2. Dragon Quest 11. Echoes of an Elusive Age S Definitive Edition. And then some weird game called Battalion 1944 from some like weird indie developer called Bulkhead. And I was just like, I'm seeing this like old generic looking World War II shooter pop up in the middle of a Square-Enix conference, and I'm like sitting there like, what is this? Why is this here? So I don't know. They apparently got something called the Square-Enix initiative or something like that, where they're like bringing on some independent developers to do weird games. Like another one they got is called Circuit Superstars. It's like a Micro Machines meets Forza by Original Fire Games. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Any of that stuff, I'm not a JRPG guy anymore. Any of that stuff do anything for you?
Well, a lot of it already exists. I haven't played I haven't played the new Dragon Quest yet. I have it sitting in the wrapper still. Because I'm playing Ni no Kuni 2 right now. But I think that version is just on the Switch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
so. A lot of that stuff was like the Last Remnant remastered with Switch, I believe.
Yeah, it's porting it all to the Switch, and we'll get to Nintendo after this. But that's what made me upset about Nintendo. It's like, you fuckers are so goddamn behind on your shit that you're just porting everything over. And a lot of these are that exact thing. And it's just like, okay, cool. I guess you're just full steam ahead on Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. And so Square Enix revealed that their music is now available on all streaming platforms, which is kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, it's cool.
Kingdom Hearts Remind DLC. No one here cares about Kingdom Hearts. Final Fantasy 14 expansion called Shadowbringers. They showed Dying Light 2, which is weird. I didn't know they were handling sort of distribution and publishing on that game, so it was weird for that to show up here. Nothing to really report on Dying Light. It showed up in Microsoft's press conference too. Just looked like more Dying Light. Romancing Saga 3, Saga Scarlet Grace Ambitions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, War of the Visions Brave Exvius. I don't know. Those are like mobile games right there. I don't know anything about the Romancing Saga games. Do you? I don't.
No, I played them. I didn't like them. It's just not my style.
Yeah. And then another fucking wild card out of left field was the People Can Fly devs were there. But they had this new game called Outriders, and I love People Can Fly. I've loved all their games going back to like Painkiller on the PC back in the early 2000s. They made Bulletstorm and Gears of War Judgment. So all their games are A+ for me. So I'm like, cool. I'm like sitting there like, oh, cool. New People Can Fly game. Of course they'd be working on something. And it's like, again, just all concept stuff, like CG trailer. Have no clue what it is. It's apparently a dark modern shooter with traditional values. The guns look cool. But
what's that even mean?
That was their words during the when they were describing the game. So that's I didn't make that up. That was quote for quote thing that was taken from the concept trailer.
Okay.
And it showed a bunch of them like sitting around their office, like doing shit on computers. Like one of those, like, we don't know what game we're fucking making yet, but we're gonna tell you about it. E3 did this like a couple of E3s ago. Or EA did this a couple of E3s ago. Like when they didn't have shit to show, they're just like show a bunch of devs in their office talking about like, this is what we're thinking about making. So I don't know. I wish I could be more excited for this game because, like I said, I love People Can Fly, but we'll see. Then a game called Aninaki, the latest Tokyo RPG Factory, makers of I Am Setsuna, a Final Fantasy VIII remaster, which I guess is something a lot of people have been asking for.
You know what? I'm not excited, but I'm happy this is happening because I tried to play Final Fantasy VIII back when it came out, and it's one of the shittier ones, but I've always wanted to go back and just give it another fair shake, so I'm glad it's going to be remastered so I can play a version that doesn't look like fucking ass. Because I don't know if you remember, but the graphics on it were the shits. They were terrible. Like the faces looked like shit. It was not impressive. So I'm glad at remastering it. So when I do play it, it's tolerable.
Yeah, just not much about that game was memorable for me. It's definitely not one of my favorite Final Fantasies for sure. And then we finally get to what we all were waiting for this entire fucking time, is the reveal of the Avengers game. But again, you got little small glimpses of the gameplay during the trailer, but nothing really great to go on. So what should have been the fucking biggest moment of E3, maybe kind of not that great. They did say it's a co-op game. You can play as Captain America, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, and Black Widow. And then they show, I guess, Ant-Man at the end of the trailer too. So I don't know. They made it seem like there's only 5 playable characters, but I guess there'll be more. But yeah, very little gameplay was revealed. They talked about their voice cast, which is cool. I like all these people. Nolan North, Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham. All those have been in a bunch of other games. Great voice actors. But it was a little weird seeing, different faces on the Avengers. We're so used to seeing the, Marvel Cinematic Universe version of these characters. So having like different Avengers and different people playing them is a little off-putting at first, even though this was never supposed to be based on, the movie universe or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. They came out and they're like, don't worry, there's not going to be microtransactions and loot boxes in this game. So I'm like, well,
yeah,
like, just what is this? Are you going for like more of a games as a service type thing, like a Destiny or Division? Like, is it going to be like a big thing, or is this going to be like a 15-hour 4-player co-op game? Like, I just don't know what the game is.
That was confusing when they said that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What kind of game is this now?
So, but what did you think about what you saw on this Avengers?
Well, we didn't see gameplay, right? We just saw CG shit. So it's like, cool, it's the fucking Avengers fighting stuff. Like, I've seen this already, Like, so I just want to know, what kind of game is this? Like, I'm happy it's co-op, because we need more co-op games. But what is the structure? Is it just like an open world, like Spider-Man Infamous type game where you just go around and you do missions and random activities? Or is it like an MMO? Or is it, like you said, like Destiny? I don't know. Like, what is this?
Yeah, that's just, man, I wanted to come away like so hyped about this because I was so looking forward to this reveal. I'm just sitting there just like going through all this bullshit Square-Enix press conference, just waiting like, okay, reveal it. Come on, Avengers, let's go. Oh. And then they get here and I'm like, okay, looking cool, looking good. And then I don't know what this game is. It's like, again, they don't show footage of the fucking game being played. We waited all this time for this. And it's just like, fuck off, man. Jesus Christ. So yeah, oddly enough, most exciting thing at fucking E3 this year was a goddamn Final Fantasy VII Remake, a game from over 20 years ago. It was the most exciting fucking thing at E3 this year.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But let's move into Nintendo real quick, even though we're like fucking big Nintendo fans. But I figure if we're going to cover everything else, we might as well put this shit in here. So their conference happened today. I just skimmed through it real quick before we started the podcast. So the hero from Dragon's Quest XI is coming to Smash Bros. Yeah, because that's the level of fun and exciting you get from Nintendo. Characters called the hero.
Well, like, that fucking game needs more characters in it. There's like 40 guys in it. Like, do you need more? Like, is there not enough selection already?
But I think it's funny that like they have so many of these characters in Smash are just like generic. Like, Nintendo characters are just the most lifeless, boring fucking characters of all time. And everyone they're so like beloved, and everyone gets excited when it's like, they even announced like fucking Banjo-Kazooie is coming to this. And it's like, who gives a flying fuck about Banjo-Kazooie? Like, Jesus Christ. And this is like supposed to be like a big deal. It's not like you have like fucking Captain America coming to Smash Bros. Like a character people will actually care about. It's like Banjo-Kazooie and the hero. Like, this character doesn't even have a fucking name. I know it's just like the generic person that you play as in every Dragon Quest game, but still, it's just, this is why I just can't stand fucking Nintendo, man. And then they try to do this stupid fucking gag where it's like one of the Nintendo guys and then like a CG Bowser, and they're like, this is not the Bowser we're talking about, because they have this guy that works for Nintendo. He's the guy that's taken over for Reggie Fils-Aimé, I guess, and his name is Doug Bowser. So it's funny that they have a guy that works at Nintendo whose last name is Bowser. Mm-hmm. They try to do this hilarious gag of like, my name's Bowser. It's not you, though. I don't know. Just, again, this is why I hate Nintendo. They reveal Luigi's Mansion 3, and then you have like a sort of separate player called Gooigi that can be controlled by a second player, and they have like an online co-op mode. And I don't know. Luigi's Mansion isn't the shittiest of the Nintendo games for me. Have you ever played Luigi's Mansion?
No, but I know Rhodey loves it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's one of the better Nintendo games, in my opinion. And then they revealed this Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics game, which I was just like, what? Because when it first started, the trailer first starts, I'm like, is this Dark Crystal? I'm like, no, this is not the Dark Crystal. And then they get to the end, I'm like, holy shit, it is. So it's like a Final Fantasy Tactics style game based on. It's like
So
produced by
weird.
Netflix too. It's like Netflix has a hand in this. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is
because
so
I think
fucking
Netflix
weird.
is like redoing the series or something.
Yeah, they're doing something with it. I heard that. So this is just like weird, but I think I might be down to check this out, to be honest with you. And then they showed some more of the Switch remake of Link's Awakening, which will have like a custom dungeon mode. I don't know. I think this looks kind of cool, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit more open to Zelda after Breath of the Wild. Before, I've just never been a Zelda person. What about you?
I didn't like Breath of the Wild. It wasn't one of my favorite Zelda games. I thought it was very empty and boring. It had cool ideas. The puzzles were great. The dungeons were really cool. But it doesn't really work as an open world game unless it's more concise. So, like, I don't care about Link's Awakening, to be honest. But, like, I don't know. I don't like it. If Zelda's going in the open world direction, I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, well, it's oddly enough, Breath of the Wild is the only Zelda game I've. So,
Really?
I mean, to be fair, I've never played a lot of them. Like, it's always been something because I'm not a Nintendo guy. I'd never bought them, but like I would be at a friend's house and I would play them or something like that, or maybe I rented it. But yeah, I just never got into Zelda, and Breath of the Wild was oddly enough the first Zelda game that really fucking sold me. So yeah, I'm kind of the opposite as far as that goes. And then they revealed Trials of Mana, just a fucking generic fucking JRPG, whatever. And then, oddly enough, The Witcher 3 Complete Edition is coming to Switch. Like you could see a little bit of the footage in I mean, it's definitely a watered down version because I mean, goddamn, Witcher 3 looks great, but I don't know how they're pulling this off on a goddamn Switch. But I almost want to buy it just to see because I love the game so goddamn much. But so that was kind of funny to me, even though it was sort of speculated or even leaked beforehand this was going to happen. Then they revealed Fire Emblem 3 Houses, a bunch of Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 coming to Switch. No More Heroes 3, Contra Collection, Daemon X Machina, which actually looked kind of cool. I don't know if you saw that. It kind of had like a weird, colorful like art style, even though it's some fucking Japanese ass fucking mech shit. It looked kind of cool. Panzer Dragoon coming to Switch. Pokemon Sword and Shield, bullshit. I don't care about Pokemon. Fuck off. And Astral Chain, which is another game that actually looked pretty damn cool. Like I might actually pick this game up. But have you seen this?
No, what is it?
I don't know. It's like a third-person action game. I don't know. It looks really fucking cool. I mean, the story and the character stuff looks like your typical Japanese anime bullshit, but just the graphics and the style and the gameplay look fun. I don't know. It's like the only thing that I saw from here that I was like, I might actually buy that. Game called Empire Sin that was like, I don't really understand what the gameplay is of it, but it's like a weird gangster, like mafia 30s, 40s, 50s sometime era in there. I don't know. I like stuff like that, so I might, give this another look in the future. Then he talked about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I don't know.
I wish it wasn't on Nintendo.
Yeah,
I love that. I love
really
those
the
games.
thing. I would totally pick it up if it wasn't on the Switch. I might still get it. I don't know, but yeah, just being relegated to the Switch kind of makes me less excited for it because it's not going to be like the graphical powerhouse. It could be, you know what I mean? Then they revealed like Cadence of Hyrule, which is sort of like what is it called? The Crypt of the Necrodancer game. It's like a rhythm-based, like sort of music game where you like fight, but like to the beat of the music. And so it's all this like really sort of rock and rolled up Zelda music that you're playing to. I don't know. Not something for me, but whatever. It's kind of neat, I guess. And then they revealed Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Who fucking buys these games?
Yeah, isn't that like 2 generations ago we had that game? Like, why is this coming back?
It's like shovelware that you had on the fucking like Wii or some shit, or even before that. Like, I'm pretty sure that's like a GameCube game, or it might even go back to the Nintendo 64. I don't even know at this point. But yeah, I'm just like, who asked for this shit? A new Animal Crossing. It's like the dumbest fucking Nintendo game franchise, in my opinion. Have you ever played Animal Crossing?
I have, and it was fun for a day, and I was like, cool. I can go garden in my own yard.
Yeah, it's just like a time management fucking simulator. It's just so stupid. And then they announced a Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel in the works. So I'm super hyped for that. That's like the only Zelda or Nintendo game that I've ever cared about is these Breath of the Wild games. So I don't know.
It's weird that they would make a sequel from a specific Zelda game. Like I don't think they actually have done that before. Because every Zelda is its own thing.
Isn't like was it Majora's Mask a spinoff of one of the other ones?
I guess it kind of is. I don't.
I'm
It's
not a
hard.
Zelda
It's so hard
expert.
to say. Yeah, it's so hard to say because I don't know how everything connects together. Like it, those two games, the ones that it was Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, were on the 64. And sure, they look the same. I don't remember if it's in the same timeline. Like if it happens like 5 years later. I don't remember. It just feels like every Zelda game's its own thing, and it's always in its own like universe. It's just there's always a Link. There's always a Princess Zelda. So it's just weird that they would make a spin-off or a second sequel to a certain Zelda game.
And normally I would be with you on the like, because that was always my favorite thing about Far Cry back in the day, is that each new Far Cry game was like different and unique, and that was what was fun about it to me. Until they got to 3, and then everything's just been a copy of 3, and I'm fucking tired of Far Cry at this point. So I could understand the people that, because there's people like you that didn't like Breath of the Wild, and so they're just like, oh fuck Christ, a Breath of the Wild sequel. Of all the games to make a sequel to in the Zelda franchise, this is the one. But for me, as someone who only liked Breath of the Wild, I'm cool with this because it looks like a darker version of Breath of the Wild. So we'll see. But yeah, that's literally the only thing that Nintendo could do to get me excited, to be honest with you, would be a Breath of the Wild sequel. So,
well, just looking at their list, it's like I said before, it's all ports, and it's a bunch of sequels to their first party games, which is like all they ever do really, is just remake Mario, Fire Emblem type stuff,
Zelda,
but
Metroid,
Pokemon,
all this shit. Pokemon, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, it's all the same shit.
I like Nintendo to a point, but it's just they haven't reinvented their games as much as they've reinvented their consoles. They focus so much on making their consoles so innovative every time that it just feels like they're just sinking all their time into that instead of game design and how to make this cool. Because like Zelda Breath of the Wild was cool with the puzzles, how you can move the Switch around, and like you have like the ball or the marble or whatever, and you can kind of move it around based on how you're holding the Switch, and there's different puzzles like that were neat. But again, it's gimmicky, and at the base game is like, we've played this for 20-30 years already. So I don't know. It's just Nintendo doesn't innovate with their games as much as they should. They're just too focused on their consoles.
Yeah, well, I mean, even though you could say like Breath of the Wild is copying a lot of the open world trends of the last 15 years or so, that to me, that was the first thing they've done in a long time. That's like, this is like Nintendo like really trying something new and innovative. Even though, like I said, you could say it's basically just, Zelda like made by Ubisoft or something. But I don't know. I'm with you on that though. That's why I've never, like I said, I haven't owned a Nintendo console until the Switch since the Nintendo 64, because nothing that they do just speaks to me. I'm sorry. I don't like Mario. I don't care about Metroid. I don't care about Mario Kart. It was fun back in the day, but I can't play any more of these fucking kart racers. And yeah, none of their stuff just speaks to me at all.
And it's a shame. It's a shame.
Yep.
The whole fucking the whole event was a shame.
Yep. Yeah. It's sad what E3 has become. And man, like I said, it would have been okay with me if a lot of these companies had just showed gameplay of their fucking games. Like the new games that I'm supposed to be excited about, that I'm like gonna fucking call my best friends and be like, holy shit, did you see this game? Like there's none of that this year,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
like I'm not excited for really anything. And the games that I am excited for, I already knew before E3.
Yeah, exactly.
And ones that I'm actually looking forward to weren't talked about at E3, like and the new Elder Scrolls game, and like they might as well just have shown that fucking trailer and it wouldn't have been out of place in their conference, because everything else is a fucking trailer, right? So
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So that's our coverage of E3 this year. Huge bummer of a show, to be honest, but it is what it is. I don't know. I still had to do a E3 show this week because it's still a thing, and it's where all the news was going to be, and there's really no point in talking about anything else. But yeah, huge bummer of a show as far as everything that was shown this week, and I didn't come away like really that excited for anything other than Final Fantasy VII. So we'll see. Some of these games look good, but again, I don't know. We'll have to see when we play them.
Have you seen any reactions online from people? Like, are we just getting too old for this shit, or what? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I mean, normally I'm a lot more plugged into what's going on. It'll probably won't be until I listen to some of my gaming podcasts this week that I'll kind of get people's reactions. But yeah, I don't really know what the general consensus is, but I think most people are just kind of being like, yeah, maybe we should just fuck E3 off now, just like, everyone's just like, and it sucks, man, because it used to be like the funnest part of the year. I would get so fucking hyped for E3, but now it's just like,
These guys can just hold their own on YouTube and just have like the live stream of it, and just save themselves the money and time of going to a show and just do their own thing like what Sony did, so it's just,
yeah,
I don't know. I think E3 is on its way out for sure.
Yeah, we'll just have to see.